Hey folks, we are out looking at land today. That's right, procuring land. Although foreigners can't purchase land in the traditional sense here, there are still ways to procure. It happens here every day. One way is about three ways. One way, a Thai wife or partner, you could put the land in their name. That's one way. Another way, you could form a Thai company. The company could buy the land and you could be a shareholder of said company. Or three, you could rent the land or lease it long term. Any of these things have a lot of moving parts, and you should seek the advice of legal counsel. Find an attorney, a Thai attorney that specializes in these things to guide you through the process, because there's a lot of ways you need to protect yourself either way you try to go. But here again, there are deals done every day. Now, a couple things before we actually get boots on the ground here and start looking at this land. Some things that'll come up. The sizes of land here are measured in rai or talangwa. One rai of land is 400 square meters. A talangwa is 4 square meters. So, yeah, for example, 100 talangwa is a quarter of a rai. A rai is about a little less than half an acre, about 0.42 of an acre. So you'll see these measurements come up as we're going to look at, I don't know, 5 or 6 different pieces of land today and compare prices. The more you look at, the more you understand kind of what the values are and is something a good deal or not, and then all of the various issues you'll run into. I mean, this first one, it's a little bit of an issue just getting out here. This is still about a year away from a concrete road. But anyway, we'll give it a look anyway. Looks like the electric poles are in. That's something else to look out for. So this first gentleman here, he has 4 rai of land there. I believe he's already sold 1 rai, though, so that would leave 3 left. And I think he's got like 2 pieces that are 1 rai each, and then several smaller pieces. He's cut it up. But as you can see, as I alluded to, the electric poles are in. That's not always the case when you look at this underdeveloped land. Another thing that isn't always the case is the other utility would be water. So in this case, he's already got the water in. I guess that's your water main right there. Sometimes it's hard to picture what a house would look like in a certain given piece of land, but with today's tools, it's a lot easier. Computer design and so forth. So I don't know, I might try my hand at that and see kind of what it would look like, because otherwise it's hard to visualize. The road's not even fully in yet, but the water's in, the electric's in. That's a big one, all these electric poles. We are about 200 meters from the main road, something like that. But it's quiet, it's serene. The closest 7-Eleven is probably 3/4 of a mile away, something like that, maybe a mile. So he's got different size pieces. I think for the 1 rai pieces, which he has 2 of, he's asking 1.1. I think 1.1 for 1, and the one on the end by the tree is 1.5. He's got them all here on his phone. You can see all the little pieces cut up. This is the land deed. Now, on the top of this, you'll notice this is of significance. Looks like an insignia up there, and this one is red. A little bit hard to see with the glare on the phone, but it's red. And they come in a couple different colors. You want to avoid any color that's not red. So if you're looking at a land deed and you see a green one or a black one or a blue one, you want to avoid those. The green and black are for land use. They have the ability to use the land, but they don't really have the survey and the aerial photos yet. The blue one's just for agricultural use, and that cannot be sold. So if you ever see a blue one, definitely steer clear of that. You want it to be red. And the paper that this is printed on, believe it or not, is made outside of the country. They do that to make it difficult for copying or fraud or anything like that. So all these issues may be caught at the land transfer office if you go to do a deal, but it's just better to know anyway, kind of know before you get that far into the process. But very nice little piece of land out here, but there's others to look at. We've got this lady, and this lady owns a lot of little pieces. She's going to take us to look at 2, and the first one's very close by our house, but it's smaller. It's not quite as big and grand as the last ones we looked at. That's a small piece, about 60 talangwa, 60 to 65. And it has a little bit of the overgrowth, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. And it's, I don't know, 20 meters or so from a road. Of course, a road with electricity service and running water and that kind of thing. So it'd have to be a small house and you wouldn't have a lot of land left over, but it does back to the trees here. It's at a quiet street. There's another piece of land right next to it for sale. That looks a little larger. So I don't know, maybe we'll explore that. The beach and the 7-Eleven, it's only about 150, maybe 200 meters. And the main beach road and 7-Eleven. So that's not too bad. That's actually pretty good to get 200 meters from the beach. The price here, 650,000 baht. So I guess that comes out to about $20,000 for this little piece of land. But like I said, it is on the smaller side. We're looking really for something at least 100, more like 120 to 150. Kalangwa would be kind of where we want to be. Now, a lot of times overgrowth is one thing you're going to encounter. We have, and it's hard to visualize how big the land is and what it really looks like, the shape of it, the condition, is it a wetland or not. This one here, 200 Kalangwa, which is pretty good size, about a half rai, I guess. And it's so overgrown. It's down this red clay road here. We passed a couple lakes on the way down, and there's no water service here yet, but there is electric. So be surprised what it would look like after a plow's been back there for about an hour, though. It doesn't take long. The 2 mango trees, she said that's the beginning of the property on that side, and it goes back. So make out a little bit of a hedgerow here, a little bit of a fence that's all been overgrown with vines to mark this side of it. So yeah, so I guess about 30, 40 meters frontage on the road. Not too bad, and then deep. That would suit us. That would suit us. This one, more expensive though. I think maybe too expensive. $1.5 million. So about 45,000 US dollars. And here we're about 2.5 kilometers to the beach as the crow flies, but you got to kind of make a circuitous path to get there. So maybe 3.5 by road. But actually a very beautiful, quiet setting out here. It would need to be built up a little bit. I have a feeling with the lakes that I saw, I have a feeling it's a little bit marshy back there. And there's a lot of stuff growing. I can see bananas. I don't know that anybody planted those. They're just like they're wild bananas growing back there. All kind of stuff. I don't really want to go traipsing back there in my flip-flops either. Yeah, who knows what's lurking back there. I don't know. I would think if I was selling if that was my land and I was selling it, I would clear it out a little bit, run a plow back there or something first, just so people could get an idea of the size and breadth of it and see it a little bit. Anyway, the next lady here, she has taken us out here to the corner of a road, kind of a bend in the road where one of her properties is, and she's got some good things to tell us. We're at 70 Kalangwa here for 880,000, and they're going to build that up. That price includes building up the land to be even or level with the road, because it kind of sinks down in there now. Water service isn't here yet. They would build the land up first. New electric, and we're about 2, maybe less than 2 kilometers from the beach, and maybe, I don't know, only about 150 kilometers or so off the main road. This isn't too bad, and there's a lot of little stores and things out on the main road, so this one isn't too bad of a location. I gotta leave the motorbike running because when we were looking at one of the other pieces, I didn't turn the key off all the way and the battery almost died, so that's why it's running. I had a look at the piece of land, I think across the street. They're already building something here. The lady says it's going to be a massage shop. I guess that would be the lobby. And then these would be the various massage rooms. Piece behind me is a good example. It's just shy of a rai, 395 Kalangwa, but it's very sizable. You could build 4 nice houses on there. The piece we're going to look at over here with the banana trees. So this one's, it's a little bit different shape. The fat part of the land, the wide part of the land is right along the road, and it just backs up to those banana trees. So not very deep, but very wide. And it'd be right across the street from the massage shop that they're building. But actually it's very quiet back here. The rest of it's just vacant land.
There's a nice house here, and well, two next to where they're building the massage shop, and that would be it. Yeah, so we're about 2.5 kilometers, I guess, from the beach here, and about 100 meters from the main road. So not bad. Electric's in. The land is already leveled with the street. There's a lot of property facing the road, but I actually would rather it be a little deeper so you had that bit away from the road to do something. So the one rye piece of property, 3 million baht. So right around 100,000 US. The little banana tree footage across from the massage parlor, 750,000 baht. Turns out it's only like 61, 62 Talang Wa. So it was a busy couple days making all those stops. Thought we'd enjoy a little evening out here on the beach. We do this from time to time. It's beautiful around sunset. Looks like today we'll have a good one. Blonde picks up shells, crabs. Sometimes I do some fishing out here. I've never caught anything bigger than about that, but that's what it is. And of course we bring a cocktail. You know, this thing, I forget where we got this, but one night when we got home, I forgot to empty this and put it in the sink. And it was still sitting in the saling, and the ice was still in there the next morning from the night before, from the evening before. So it really keeps things cold. The last lady had another piece of land to show us that was 200 Talang Wa, but apparently a German guy just bought it in a company name. He said he didn't have a wife or anything. Just a single guy bought the land. So it happens every day here. Those kind of transactions are a daily thing. So, not saying you snooze, you lose, but kind of that sort of thing. If you see something you want, you got to get it. The good pieces go quick. But anyway, we're just looking. It might be nice to have something that's underdeveloped, something where very few people live, very quiet, but still close enough to the beach and conveniences and things like that. So what else did we learn? Well, I got to visit some places I didn't even know existed, down some different roads and paths that I never would have seen. That's one. Two, the prices are really variable. If you break it down to the smallest unit, if you break it down to 1 Talang Wa, divide the price they're asking by how many it is, there's quite a diverse offering there. Some of that's due to location, but most of the locations are pretty similar. There's just a big difference in price. You have to kind of do a lot of shopping, know the market conditions, know what it is per rye, per Talang Wa in that area, etc., and what makes sense, and then weigh out the locations. But you're kind of splitting hairs with a lot of these locations. They're very, very similar. I guess one of the other things that kind of hits home is how daunting of a task it is, not only to look for, find, select a piece of land, but then once you have it, the clearing, the leveling, the construction, the utility hookup, all of that stuff. It's a very daunting task. It's not like you can just pick it out, plop a house down. I mean, in some cases, you could do that, like I talked about with a modular type home. It's still quite an undertaking. A lot more to it than renting a condo for a year. But anyway, that's what it is, and we'll see what happens. We're just going to enjoy an evening out here.
So yeah, very daunting indeed. Not sure it's right for me. If it's right for you, though, make sure you take my advice I gave at the beginning. A lawyer, some legal counsel can really go a long way in this type of process. It's something that could go pear-shaped pretty quick. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the episode. Something else next time, but as the sun sets here, I've got to go ahead and leave it off right here. And as usual, I'll thank you for watching. And until next time, bye for now.